meeting is in session. We are back with part two of Split Fiction. I have to welcome the one, the only, my partner in crime, Alex. And before you even open your pretty little mouth, your pretty little lips, I got a question for you. Where do two AI softwares go to determine if they belong together and if they love each other?
Where did two AI softwares go to determine if they love each other? I don't know, Adam. Where do they go?
The chat LGBT. I
I think that's all right, Adam. Did you come up with that yourself?
No, I did not come up with that one myself. I will admit, I did not. I'm not that clever. I told folks or listeners, I told Alex if it was a little too. I didn't think it was inappropriate. There's no malice there,
I
but
think
I
it's just
think
wordplay, is what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if it was a little too much, I told him to tell me, and then we were gonna have to do something else. I thought it was pretty good. And the reason it all comes full circle is because split fiction. We're in an AI program, baby. We're in a robot. Are you ready for part two, Alex? Are you ready to finish the game, talk about the plot, and ultimately whether we made a good decision about playing it or not?
Yeah, I'm ready. Although I don't know if AI is actually part of it. I think it's an allegory for AI, maybe. Anyways, I'm getting beside the point. Adam, let's roll into this. But first, we got to talk about some fan shout outs, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think our main fan shout out, freaking Corporate Zombie, what a beast. Last two episodes ago, we posted two episodes back to back, so it's kind of like one block of episodes. We mentioned, do you remember we given him crap because he didn't know for an entire year whether our voices were Adam or Alex's? You
Yeah, the
remember
the
that?
sexy one, the sexy voice is Alex, and then Adam is the other guy.
That's right. Exactly. And I'll take that, you know? I got the looks, not the voice. I can't have it all. And so we told him he needed to eat a bean. He stepped up. Did you watch that bean video he made?
I did, although I didn't watch all of it. I was working at the time, but he stepped up. Dude devoured some beans. Although I don't know what it is in UK. Maybe their just normal food is so bad that they can't really give them bad beans, like to make things any worse. So like their worst one was like dog food, which is probably just a normal jelly bean over there
Well,
in the
there was
UK.
one that was cabbage, and I have to feel like that one can't be good.
Like the worst is like an actual food. Like
That's a good point. That's a good point. But it was awesome. I mean, the video was what, 7 minutes or something. It was an enjoyable watch.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you for sucking it up. We were gonna send you beans, Corporate Zombie. I think it's fine. I bet he went out to find his own beans because he knew we were gonna come and get them, and he would have had to eat the bean boozleds, and that's just gonna ruin your stomach, your day, everything.
I also feel bad making him wait on us because he was waiting on me to give him the go ahead to release his Battle Zone video, and it took me months, months and months and months.
Just to say, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I wanted to review it and make sure I didn't, reveal too much about myself. I don't think I did. So he launched it. I
Well,
didn't know I didn't know he was recording is the thing. And it's fine. It's
do you
fine.
know the Dosaki? Maybe that guy died. Did you know the old Dosaki guy, the most interesting man in the more?
Dos Equis, that guy?
It was Dosaki, right?
No, Equis is like X.
Screw you. I took 2 years of high school Spanish and 2 semesters in college. F you, it's Dosaki. Do you know the man, the most interesting man in
I
the
know who you're talking about, but I can't let this go, Adam. How do you think you spell what you're saying?
You are the opposite of him. You weren't gonna say anything. What were you gonna say? Man,
I was
I tried these new wool socks and my feet are just too warm, man. I
I
mean,
was worried about revealing too much information about you, honestly. We were ragging on you for most of it.
I mean, let me guess. The conversation was like, dude, it is just so big. I couldn't believe it. Is that the whole?
Yeah, most of it was we were just pontificating on whether or not it was fake. Like, did they even have surgeries for that? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't even remember where that joke came from. But Okay, sweet. But Corporate Zombie, thank you for doing the video. Thanks for stepping up. At least someone that I know is. Alex repeatedly lets me down. So it's good to know that I can rely on somebody. And I need to watch that Battlezone video, I suppose, since it's
It
that people making fun of me, I
it
guess.
was a thrilling round of Battlezone. This had never happened to me before. I mean, I'm sorry to spoil it, but we made it to the end of the Battlezone round, and like he landed the last shot on the boss at the exact same time that he died, and we I was all out of lives, and he landed the last shot on the boss, and then it brought us all to life right at the end because his shot landed before the kill shot hit him.
So you won.
We won. We won, baby.
Dude, if you win with Alex, that's incredible. You
I
are
know.
just the thing is like I don't think if you try you're bad at the game, but you just are you live life and you're very reckless. And so it's difficult to win with you because of that.
If it was easy to win, it wouldn't be fun. I like to, ride on the edge of this, take it to the limit.
Oh,
That was also the time that I was playing VR. Had the headphones on, I was playing VR, and my wife got trapped under a piano for 30 minutes. And she was like screaming for me and stuff like that, and I could not hear a thing. Could not hear
at
a
some point she
thing.
just gives up and she's like, ah, he's playing VR.
That's what happened. Yeah, she took a shoe off and threw it up the stairs and even hit my door, and it like made a banging sound. And I was like, "What?" And then I just stopped. And yeah, she was. And after about 30 minutes, she was like, "There's no way. He's not going to save me. I gotta." She summoned the strength and pushed the piano off her. Yeah,
How do you get trapped by a piano?
it's a. It is almost like a keyboard. Like it's a at home. It's
Yeah.
big enough that a person could pick up on their own, but it's got its own legs and stuff attached to it. And so she was carrying it up the stairs, and we have like a turning point in our stairs. And like getting around that turning point, it like fell over and pinned her against the wall, and she couldn't get an angle to like lift it up, and she was just stuck.
Wow. Wowzers.
Husband of the
That's
year over
wild.
here.
But I didn't
Husband of the
realize she
year.
was that weak. That's wild. What's not weak is this week's game. Actually, it might be weak. I saw this, Alex. Sparkling rainwater. Had
You
to
got it. You got it for the rainbow.
had to try it. Yes, I'm under the rainbow. Put the rainbow in my mouth. I mean, it's gotta taste just like water, right?
Like soda water, maybe. I am curious. What makes it can't really be rainwater, right? I guess rainwater can't be sparkling. Is there sugar in it?
I'll double check. No.
Give her a
Yeah, no,
sip.
it's exact. It is rainwater.
So they
But
take rain.
they added carbonation to it, right? Like they didn't.
Wouldn't that be awesome if rainwater was just carbonated naturally?
That dude, I would go outside and
Oh,
yeah, okay,
is it just soda water?
yeah,
Just soda water.
yeah. It's kind of what I expected, but just it's so interesting. Why? Like why? The other thing too, how do I know this is rainwater? This could be a whole marketing ploy.
Yeah, and you fell for it. Just once though. My drink, Adam, is the Cantaritos by Jarritos pineapple. Am I saying that right, Spanish Master Adam? By Jarritos. It's a pineapple hard soda. It's only
Carlitos,
it's
stay
only
away.
5% alcohol, so it's pretty weak. So there we go, Adam. It's pineapple though, so it's good for the prostate. Your mom will enjoy the effects.
Big time.
Never had a pineapple soda before.
And
Not bad. Not I can finish this. It's a big one,
I mean, you
right?
don't have a choice. You have to
It's
finish
a
it.
big one, but I can finish. I'll finish this right now, just down the hatch. No, I'm not doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Put it in the mouth. Can you fit it?
Is it?
Is it? All
What
right.
was that joke? What did you say? Is it? Were we talking about the statue of David and everybody just looking at the statue of David, just going,
Yep.
Is it like a little bit?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it a chub? Full chub? Mid chub? Exactly. I don't remember how that came up, but exactly that was it. But we have our comeuppance right now. I love that word. I don't know why. We need to talk about split fiction. So, Alex, last episode, catch us up, and then let's move forward to where we are going to talk about today, the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, last episode we went. I think we went through two chapters of the game, right? We basically saw some of Mio's stories, which was sci-fi action, and some of Zoe's stories, which was fantasy. and stealth in that situation. And for those who don't know, the plot of the game, you're these two unpublished authors who come to this publishing company, and you get pushed into this machine that like generates your worlds, and you walk through the worlds, but you somehow end up in the same bubble. So you're splitting your fiction amongst the two of you, and you keep alternating between Mio's worlds and Zoe's worlds. And it's not just the book that you wanted to publish, but it's all the fantastical stuff that you came up with. And it seems like this device that Raider Publishing has is stealing all of your ideas so that they can make books out of it. All right.
That's the plot. That's
So
the plot.
so there's, I mean, I would love it. I would love it if somebody listened to this and lay this out for me a bit more, because I think the first thing we'll get into is the story, and we don't got to spoil too much. Um, I'll just say front.
Should we? I mean, this is
This
maybe
is the second one. And
maybe
to
from this
me,
point forward. Spoiler alert: we're just gonna go into it.
okay, but there's not much to recap from what we did in the second half of the game from the first half of the game. Shouldn't say half. We played the first 20%, last 80%. You're flip-flopping between sci-fi and fantasy games. I mean, the mechanics change. We'll get into that a bit, but honestly, nothing was really too different. You just have a different way of interacting within the environment. I mean, it's like Astrobot, right? Astrobot, you go to a level, you get some power up that you haven't had before. I think, for example, one of my power ups was I had this magnetic ability, and Adam had this ability to turn into a fish, or I had an ability to open portals, and Adam had the ability to like turn light bulbs on that we could jump on. So
I really don't understand your. You keep saying you're relating it to Astrobot. To me, this is nothing like Astrobot.
I mean, from like a setting standpoint, there's not much like Astrobot. From gameplay, it's the game is mostly inoffensive and not too difficult platforming.
Yeah, but it's like a yeah. I don't Astrobot. I just feel like is different, and the goal in Astrobot is different than this. Here, you're trying to get to the end of the level. Astrobot, you're trying to collect stuff, and it's about collectibles, and it's more cutesy. And I don't. I feel like there's even more
You're
depth in
conflating.
Astrobot than this.
I think you're. I'm not talking about the aesthetics or the graphics or like what the story is. I'm talking about
Sure.
just
Yeah.
sheer gameplay, and the feeling I got from the gameplay of this was just like you're just moving, just constantly moving forward. There's not really an option for you to make a choice or do anything. You're just going forward just to get to the end and get to the end and get to the end. And there's no real roadblocks in your way. It's all kind of set up so that you have ample time to make any decisions you have to make in terms of like what platform am I going to jump on next. And sometimes you're just running around, jumping on stuff and flipping switches, and sometimes you're like on a
So
cutscene.
I do feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I just got used to it. I feel like that aspect in the first episode, you remember me saying early on in the game, it was so fast paced. I didn't know where I was going, and it almost caused anxiety because you don't know what's happening, where you're supposed to go. Just randomly, you're gonna have to know you have to push a button, and I feel like that alleviated itself. And the timing was longer. It was more obvious where you were going. It wasn't as dynamic of gameplay the later on you go. So the first like hour, I feel like was the most stressful. Do you think that too, or did I just get used to the gameplay so it didn't affect me the same way?
I mean, it felt like the same level of stress the whole way through. I could see you like coming to grips with the fact that like, oh, they're gonna throw things at you that look like it's gonna be difficult, and it's never difficult. Like, are you gonna make that jump? Yeah, you're gonna make the jump. Are you gonna hit triangle button fast enough? Yeah, you're gonna hit the triangle button fast enough, right? Like, I think the thing that this game that bothers me about this game, and it also bothered me with Astrobot, is that there's like this fake tension that like a fake difficulty that they're trying to make you feel so that you have some adversity in the game, but there's really no adversity in the game. Like, was there anything that we got stuck on that we had to keep replaying, retrying? I mean, aside from that motorcycle level where you just couldn't drive and you kept driving us off the edge, um, like,
Yeah, I do not think so. I mean, we didn't nail everything on the first pass, but there was never a point where we were like, oh crap, what do we do? Or oh, can we beat this? We never had to really work hard to be a boss or
or even had to think hard. Like there was never a situation where it's like, what am I supposed to do? Unless because when you got your powers, right? Anything that you're supposed to do glowed bright pink. Anything I was supposed to do glowed bright green. And so it was always immensely obvious what the next step would be. And it's kind of fun, but I said last time it was like pretty on rails. But yeah, I guess uh we talk about that later. Let's go through the story a little bit, Adam. So spoiler warning. Really, the reason I wanted to keep playing this was because I was hoping that for a game that seems to be so heavy on the story, there would be something interesting happening in the story. And there are some kind of plot twisty type things, but nothing that changes the framing. Yeah, it's not a twist in the sense that it changes what's happening, but it's just like there were like revelations later in the game that are supposed to kind of make you feel some way. Like, and so here's where the plot comes in. Mio, all her stories are about being in debt. You find out her dad is terminally ill and he's stuck in the hospital, and Mio's worried about the hospital debt. Um, and like, not that that's not a real issue that people have, and it's not sad or anything like that, but it just felt like it didn't land, right? Like when that scene came out, it's like I didn't even feel bad for Mio. Like it's just like, yeah, that just it sucks, but it's not like the existential crisis that the game, I don't know, it didn't seem to carry the weight that they wanted it to. Um and like it and her dad wasn't dead. Like he wasn't dead yet. So it just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I
agree. I don't think it was like the lowest hanging fruit of how could we add some amount of character development and sadness and depression. It did, I don't know, it didn't really work for me either. It was
yeah.
like also everyone goes through it. There's nothing unique to her. I mean, I guess not everyone's father has cancer, but you're gonna lose your parents, unfortunately, at some point. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't fully.
It felt like something from like a daytime soap opera or something like that. Like a plot point for the sake of a plot point rather than actually having something to say about anything.
Yeah, I agree. It's lame. That's how it is. It's lame. I found it highly. I didn't care. I didn't feel bad for her. I didn't relate to her. I've even unfortunately lost a parent, and even I like it.
Is it because she's a woman, Adam? Is that why you didn't relate to her?
I really was like, come on, uterus, and I felt nothing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is, but I don't know, man. I feel like Zoe's was equally ineffective, if you ask me. Like,
Yeah, Zoe's was at least hidden, right? There's a little bit of a twist there, but like the sadness of Zoe was that her sister died. Like you could see it coming from a mile away. So
sure.
like they kept talking about her sister. And but she kept talking like past tense, and it's like obviously her sister's dead. But the twist was that like Zoe felt responsible for her sister's death because her sister like went swimming in the river at Zoe's behest, and she drowned, and so Zoe felt bad about it, which is, this is all very sad stuff. But I think like the delivery of the story in the game, and also like again, not to belabor it, like this happened to Zoe 14 years ago, something like that. Like it's
Yeah, it's a while. It just all of it just felt so forced. It was like they knew, like, ah, crap, we have to do something about these. They got to open up somehow, and they just pushed it. It didn't feel natural. I mean, it was just really poor. I mean, sometimes I think it's better to have, I don't know what you think. It's better to have just a shallow plot and leave it at that and let the gameplay be the focus than try to push some type of plot that's just underdeveloped and not well managed. I I mean it got to the point near the end of the game. If it wasn't, I was curious about the Raider thing,
yeah.
but when it came to the characters, I was when it was a cutscene about them, I was like, oh gosh. Like I didn't want to know more. I didn't want
Yeah.
to listen. And that is a big problem when I mean, I don't know what they're going. I don't know if they wanted the gameplay or the plot to be focused. I don't know what their goal was. But if it was the plot, they failed miserably. And unless you have something else to say about that, the Raider thing is, I think,
This is the weirdest thing. Yeah, that was the weirdest element of
that's
the
what
whole
we don't
story.
fully get. Admittedly, maybe there's a plot point that we don't understand, but the guy, one, it doesn't it doesn't make sense that they're trying to suck these ideas and make their own books.
Like,
Bro,
yeah. So that you find out that ultimately the plot of the story is that this guy who runs his publishing company, Raider, they have maybe the most advanced computing technology system on the planet because it can read people's minds and generate worlds on the fly, which, like, okay, so the most advanced technology company in the world is making books, is publishing fantasy and sci-fi books. Um, and their whole goal is to mine the author's minds to steal all their ideas to make more books, which seems absurd to me that like it's not even like it shortcuts the hard work. Like you still got to write the book. You still got
yeah.
to write the book.
Yeah, so all they want are the ideas.
Yeah, and like maybe they make movies or something, but they never allude to that. And then the other part was like I was thinking about this more about how ridiculous this plot is, and not only are they going to steal the ideas and make the books, but they recruited only unpublished authors. So people
Yeah.
who aren't even good. Like all of these stories could be terrible. And so they're
Yeah.
spending they're doing the most technologically advanced thing anybody has ever done in order to steal story ideas from a bunch of people who can't even publish can't even self-publish a book because the ideas
Like
are
you
so
and me.
worthless.
Yeah.
Like you and me. Yeah.
Remember Uni the Unicorn? Alex and I were going to release a children's novel. It was going to be called Uni the Unicorn Explores Outer Space or something like that. And it was going to go to each planet. Dude, that would have been a good idea.
Dude, it would have been because my kids have so many unicorn books now and they all suck.
Yeah. Wasn't Uni the Unicorn like already a thing though? Was that
I think Uni was from like the Lego movie or something. We'd have thought of a different name. Uni the Unicorn, Uni is short for universe. See, there we go. Now we're done.
Unihorny explores the universe? Boom. No one's
It's
taking
a
that.
it's a children's book for adults only.
Dude, I think that's what we should do. This is the point of the game to get us into publishing. Yes. I mean, I already wrote like the first, I forgot, like 5 or 6 planets. Of course, I probably deleted it by now. But either way, so you're right. That doesn't make sense. Other things to me that doesn't make sense is two people getting into a bubble breaks the machine. Doesn't make any sense. All the other bubbles, there's individual authors by themselves in there. But when Zoe and what's her name, Tito or Mio or whatever it is, get in the bubble, that wrecks it. When they are in the machine, they're in their worlds, they find glitches. So it's the machine's glitches they're finding. And when they go through the world, they fix the glitch. And fixing the glitch is going to break the machine. That makes no sense whatsoever. You could have easily flipped it. As they progress, they're causing glitches that break the machine. Doesn't make any sense. And then there was also like a weird thing about it wasn't Raider, it was the employee of Raider that was
Yeah.
so hell bent on keeping the machine up and running and stealing the ideas and stuff. Everyone was against them, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense, like why he was necessarily the bad guy, I guess.
Yeah, he was just like the CEO, and like people were like, "It's not working right." And he's like, "We're gonna make it work. We're just gonna keep doing it, and we're just gonna make it work." And then like all of this stuff is taking place over the course of like an afternoon, and like the investors are calling her, "You better fix right now." It's like chill, like markets are gonna close in like 10 minutes. We got all night to work on this, but no,
Yeah.
fix it now. And then people are like quitting, and it's like, and they're not even quitting over like the morally ambiguous problem of like, is it okay to steal ideas from authors? They're just quitting about like the machine's not working the way we want it to.
Yeah. And his thing, like at some point, it does get to where he is endangering Zoe and Mio's
Yeah.
life, but that's not until 8 hours into the game. So
Yeah.
the first 8 hours, it's just he wants it to work. And they're like, you need to drop it. You're gonna get fired. But there's no reason. He's not compromising anything. He's just trying to make it work.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And then obviously once he starts endangering lives, then that's a problem and he becomes an antagonist. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it's hard
Yeah.
for me to get fully invested when the plot is there's so many holes and it doesn't make sense and it's not engaging and it yeah. So
I think it's like you said. You made a good point just a little bit ago. Like it's okay to have a shallow plot if your gameplay has depth, and vice versa. It's okay to have relatively shallow gameplay. You're looking like a visual novel, right? There's like no gameplay if the plot has depth. However, we're here in this game. We're like, honestly, the gameplay has some variety to it, but there's like zero depth. It's as deep as a puddle. The gameplay here. And the story's also as deep as a puddle, right? Like it's
yeah.
there's very little depth. So the whole experience is very little depth overall. I mean, it was fun in the sense that like a roller coaster ride is fun, but after you ride it two or three times, it's not really fun anymore because all the fun has worn off because you know everything's going to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
if it were not for playing with your buddy or another person, this game would suck on ice.
which is another really good point that like it is entirely co-op. But aside from me like riding in a car and shooting bad guys while you drive it, it didn't really feel like we leveraged co-op too much. I mean, there's the levels where like we can only do something if you like turn on the platform and then I run around and move the thing onto the platform or something like that.
Yeah.
But it didn't do anything interesting with co-op. It just kind of retrod the same ground that a co-op platformer would trod except for the end, like there's a really cool level at the
Yeah.
end. But even then, like when we're like fighting guys, right? Wouldn't it have been cool if I could like shoot you with my weapon and you pull up your shield and it reflects to all the enemies or something? Like basic stuff that's been happening since like PS2 in co-op action games. Like this could have done it, right? What if we have a double jump, but we do a triple jump where like you jump and then I jump and then you grab me and throw me and then I jump and something like that. Like there are things that could have been done in this game to make it cooler, both plot wise and gameplay wise, and it all just seems very surface level.
Yeah, I totally agree. Moving probably more to the gameplay, there's really not much else, as you alluded to earlier, to say. It's the same thing. You just hop from world to world. Okay, there's one where you turned into a tree monster and I turned into a dragonfish.
No,
There's
I'm the tree monster. You were a monkey. I could be a fairy or a tree monster. You could be a monkey or a dragonfish. And to me, this is where the game started falling apart because the stuff that you got to do was way cooler than the stuff I got to do. You think a tree monster would be cool? He couldn't do anything except for he was basically just a glorified walking key. He could walk to certain glowy spots and you hit a button and it moves a platform. And then you got to be a monkey and you were bashing stuff and you were hanging from vines. You got to be a dragonfish, you're swimming in the water and stuff like that. I was
I
a
mean, that stuff
pixie.
wasn't that fun, but the dragons is where you got boned.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like it's cool that there was like different gameplay experience for either one of us, right? Like if I really love this game, I could play through it again and get a kind of a different game. But they really didn't balance who got to do fun stuff and who got to do not fun stuff because the dragon,
Yeah.
yeah,
If you are playing this game, be Mio.
be Mio
I
because
can say.
there was a dragon scene where we got these little dragons that we were riding the back of or whatever, and Adam's dragon, both of our dragons had wings. Adam's dragon could fly. Adam, half of the puzzles in that whole thing didn't make any sense because Adam could just fly to the end. And my dragon could grab onto vines that were on some walls, but not all walls. And
Yep.
that's all I could curl up in a ball and roll around like Sonic, but it only did anything in very specific situations, whereas Adam could fly anywhere. It was so unfun. It was so unfun.
Yeah.
Rolling around, climbing up vines with my tail. And I bet flying around was really fun. Probably felt liberating.
I mean, it was pretty average, but it was a lot better than what you were doing. And then we got to the level that one of the coolest levels was we were like a pinball where Alex was the ball and I was the flippers. And I
Yeah.
that was really fun actually. I loved that. But for you, it was like you just sat there and watched me play essentially. Like
Yeah.
there's no co-op at all. And
There's a little bit of like me having to, because I could move the ball a little bit and like nudge it in the right spot. But
mm.
like, man, could we have swapped at some point? Like, it was,
Yeah, that is a bummer that there is no easy swap mid-game. Every
yeah,
time you go log into the game, you can choose who your character is, but you don't know what's coming up. So mid pinball, it would have been cool if, yeah, I would have been like, hey man, try this. It's actually fun. And we could have shared the responsibility, but it wasn't like that. And you couldn't do it.
yeah. It all of these levels too. Like, maybe I missed something in the plot, but there was no like existential threat in the game. Not only for us, like if you die, you just appear next to your buddy immediately. So like there's no real penalty for dying. But even in like the in-game universe, like it's not like the characters are actually going to die, right? They're virtually in the world, so like when you're supposed to feel this like feeling like look at what they accomplished, they defeated this horrible thing. It's like not like they were really going to die in real life if they got shot by, the bad dragon or something like that. So the whole thing just kind of made weirdly no sense. It had no gravitas, nothing motivating me to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely struggled. Now, the one exception as we start to end this segment, the last, what would you say? Was it the last hour, the last 30 minutes?
Probably last hour, yeah, the last chapter, yeah.
The last, yeah, hour was actually pretty dope. It used this split screen scenario where Mio was in the cyber world, Zoe was in her fantasy world, but they were really mixed. And we could go into each other's world, and it was kind of like the same layout, but the worlds were completely different, but we had to work together. And I mean, there were a lot of really neat things in that final hour that they did between the way they split the screen, the way we had to interact with each other, the puzzles. That was certainly the pinnacle of the game. I mean, I guess maybe you're saving the best for last, but I actually loved the last hour. The boss fight was the end boss fight.
The end boss fight was just shooting machine guns for no, like shooting virtual
Yeah,
machine guns at the bad guy. But yeah, no, the last level, to me, it felt like somebody made the last level or came up with the idea for the last level, and they were like, well, we got to make a game that leads up to this. But nothing that you did in the first handful of games mattered to the last level. So it's not like you learned some new skill, but it was really cool. Like it was really mind-bending and trippy to be like, we're seeing two separate things at the same time. Like I'm walking through the world in the fantasy world, Adam's walking through the world in the sci-fi world, and like I can do things in my world that will then do things in your world, and it was cool.
hmm.
They should have been doing that from the get-go. They could have explored those ideas as fully fledged levels, but they didn't. And then it kind of leaves you the question of like, is it worth playing the first 12 hours to get to that 13th hour that's actually really cool?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, and I'll have to, I'll admit that final hour, those levels, maybe definitely one of the best, if not the best, like a level design and co-op level, just level in general that I've ever.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah,
We were both just like, dude, this is incredible.
yeah,
That it's disappointing. Why is and it's not like the other levels in the first part where the first 12 hours were like kind of like it, but this was just better. It was night and day. The last hour was like an entire new studio made that hour and then
yeah.
gave the interns the first 12 hours. Like it was too steep of a drop off from the majority of the game to the pinnacle of the game. But oh gosh, yeah, it sucks because that last hour was so good.
Let me pitch them what they should have done. I mean, the last level is great. Should have been the first level. Here's what they should have done with this game in the last level. Just to add some consistency with the gameplay. The last level should have been you randomly turning into the characters that you were throughout the previous levels. to demonstrate that you have some kind of mastery over all these things. So we should have been like randomly been turning into our dragons and like run through the situation. And suddenly I got to like grab vines and stuff like that. And then quickly turn it into the sci-fi beast that we are and like riding motorcycles and stuff. And then quickly turn it into like our portal dragon or something like that. I feel like there's that would have made a lot more sense because you're like sucking your own ideas back up into your brain or something like that. But instead, it just became like shoot the big bad boss.
Yeah.
And the set dressing was cool, but yeah, I don't know, Adam. Adam, let's end this segment here. And after that, we come back. We'll give our final thoughts on the game, and we got a little mini quiz we can do. And then yeah, we'll talk about what's coming up next for the podcast.
My final thought here is your idea, I think, would work. I think that definitely is a better implementation than what they did. However, my argument, or what I think they should have done, is screw the 13-hour game. Make a 4-hour game, a 3-hour game, even that is like the last hour. I would have much rather played that than what we played. That would have been incredible. Like, yeah, it would have been shorter. Sure, keep the price the same. If the game is worth it, I would rather play a really good short game than a like meh 13-hour game. Like it's
Yeah,
just it's so disappointing to see what they could have done. And they obviously had the technical skills to do it because they did a great job. But then they didn't for some reason. I don't know if they ran out of I don't know what it is. That's why I would like. I think that
yeah.
would have made a better game.
To me, that makes sense too, because right, like I really enjoyed that last level. I'm not going to play through 13 hours of the game to do the last level again. I'm probably not going to do a level select and do it again either. But like, if the game was short enough to where we could play in one sitting, almost like we're watching a movie together, then yeah, I will go through and try it again. I'd say, hey, tonight we're going to swap characters and play through it again because it was so cool and it was so enchanting. And I would have had like 7 to 8 really enjoyable hours as opposed to like 12 hours of like, ugh, and then like the last hour of hey, it's really cool.
I wonder, do you think, well, I'll ask you on the other side. You're right. Let's hop over there and let's wrap it up. Split Fiction Part 2. It's segment 2 of part 2 of Split Fiction 2. Two ladies, four boobs. Good stuff happening here. Alex, let's jump right into this quiz. Alex loves dealing beans. He
Yeah.
loves trying to make me look like an uncultured swine. So I'm excited to see what do you have for us.
Yeah, this is less no more quizzes on China. I think we beat that horse dead. Um, this is like a bet for us, Adam. It's like old school play PSVR type quiz where I'm going to ask you a question. We're both going to come up with an answer. I have not researched these, Adam. Okay, I've not researched them. And whoever's closest wins. Whoever's not closest eats a bean. So there's potential for somebody to eat 3 beans with these
Oh,
questions.
my
Okay,
gamer juice ran out.
mine almost. I got one sip left, so I'm going to be powering through.
Oh, this is horrible. Even if you get like a mid one without a drink, that's
Yeah,
ugly.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Let's do it. What's the first one? Bring it on, big
Well,
dog.
so obviously you and I break from the mainstream for split fiction, where split fiction seemed to have this following. People were like, is the game of the year already out? People were giving it very high praise. So Adam, I want to ask you, what is the current Metacritic score for split fiction? And we'll say specifically on PS5, because that's what we played it on. What do you think the current Metacritic score for split fiction is on PS5?
So I give you a number, then you're doing over under.
Yeah, we can do that. Or I can give you the number and you can do over under.
Well, how did you plan on doing it? Because I feel like the person doing the number is more likely to lose. Like it's harder to pick
Okay,
a number
okay.
than over.
Then I will give the number. If you feel like it's unfair, I'll give the number. You want to
That
do
where
that?
I've got paper, I'll write it down.
No,
You
let's do over under. I think that's a better because that's all it ultimately means. It's the same either way.
don't
So,
want to write it down because you're scared.
all right, I'll give you a number. 85 is my line that I set. Are you over or under 85?
Over.
You think it got higher than 85? All right,
This is
well, let's
Metacritic. This isn't fan.
no
Uh,
Metacritic publisher, yeah, not fan.
it's the critics. Yep.
The critics. So this is called
It's gonna
Split.
be a 87.
Oh my God, is this really? Really? What do
What?
you think it is, Adam? It's high. I'm eating a bean. It's higher than 85.
Well, I said 87, but then you're like, wow. So I mean, I'm thinking 92 now.
Based on 100 critic reviews, it got a 91.
Wild. That's why you can't trust these people. You can't trust any of them.
I'm
I'm
gonna read. I
sorry.
want to read one of the blurbs, Adam. While you spin, I'm gonna find a blurb and see what the hell people are
I
saying
mean,
about this.
here's the thing. I acknowledge that it's difficult for these critics, these outlets. It puts them in a tough spot, right? We see it with our Play PSVR. Sometimes you are given games, and whether you don't want it to or not, it does kind of affect you to where you don't want to be a complete dick. And so you're a little nicer than you should be. And that's if you're being honest and you feel convicted that I have to tell the truth. Some of these people, they're just trying to please the big boys who are giving them the codes. So they'll flat out lie because they already got the code. They have to get these games to put out content. You get on someone's bad side, you don't get the codes. Ultimately, your business is going to suffer. I think that's what a lot of that is. There is no way in anyone's right friggin' mind that that is a consensus 91. Will there be some spatterings where people think it's great? Sure. But across the board, out of 100 people, no effing way. Remember, if an average is 91, there's people who thought it was better than a
Oh
90.
yeah, there's a lot of perfect scores here. Variety. Variety's a big outlet, right? They don't have to worry about
There's
losing
no
codes.
variety. There's
No, no,
two.
no, 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 no. The Variety is the name of the magazine. It's a prominent magazine. Um, like this is a mainstream magazine, not even a video game magazine. They say Split Fiction's Haylight Studio at its best, pushing the limits of genre and co-op gameplay in an imaginative adventure through two wildly different worlds. Um,
Why?
I mean, everything they said isn't necessarily wrong, except for pushing the limits of genre and co-op gameplay. There wasn't really pushing limits, and it just I don't know, man. It felt kind of boring over. Like I was ready to be done with it, but we knew we were so close to the end. We just pushed through.
I would have
Eurogamer,
kept playing it, but I was okay that you wanted to keep playing it. So I was like, all right. I that is someone writing who like doesn't review games. This is probably like the second game.
Eurogamer gave it a perfect score. Fantastic from start to finish. Split Fiction is one of the most inventive and joyful co-op games to date, and a testament to the power of human imagination.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know, Adam. What am I eating?
I mean, this is just I hate it. I hate it. Aw, Tutti Frutti or Stinky Sock.
Thank God. All right, let me
You
spill my
lucked
gum.
out. You lucked out.
Gum is the only one going to survive this. Tutti Frutti or Stinky Frog? Stinky Frog.
Stinky Frogs. I mean, that one's easy, even if it's bad. Stinky.
There's a Tutti Frutti. Okay. Um, Adam, let me collect my beans. We'll just eat them at the same time.
Okay.
Okay. Next question for you is
No, no,
keeping in
I want
mind.
you to eat it right now. You should have to suffer.
Okay, fine. Tutti Frutti, right? Tutti
Yeah.
Frutti.
I mean, if it were barf, I would have maybe been like, okay.
That's a stinky sock, but stinky sock's not that bad.
Yeah, it's
I've
not
chewed on
bad.
a sock before.
Yeah, yeah. You suck on socks. You're
Actually, I think it might be Tutti Frutti. Just had a bad breath component to it.
oh, wow. Oh. You just had gum. Your breath shouldn't smell.
No, like it just like it was in the box with dog food, so it was kind of dog foody at first.
Oh, it got some of that dog food dust on it.
Some of
Yeah.
that dog food stank on it. Adam, next question. How many PS5 games this year are ahead of Split Fiction in terms of score? I'm going to set the line. Do you want me to guess the number and you do over under?
I mean, if you want to do that, again, I feel like that's putting you at a disadvantage, but if you'll do it, I'll happily take it.
I'm going to say two. Two games are rated more highly than Split Fiction at this point of the year.
Two isn't too many, but 91 is a high score. I
91 is high
mean,
school.
am I allowed to look at what games have come out?
Uh, no, just look, just guess.
Dude, that's the thing. I don't know what games have even freaking come out, dude. That's the problem. I mean, I can't remember. There was one game I remember that like rocked people. So that there's at least one. Two is good. Two is good. I mean, it might be. What if it is two?
I think I get it because I set the line. Mm.
I'll give you one better. If it's exactly two, I'll eat two beans. Because
Okay, all right.
that's a good line. That is a good line. I feel like that makes it, I don't know, more fair. Um,
I know what the answer is now, by the way. You just tell me what you think it's more than two or less than two.
Dang, two is a good line. I would have really wished you said three. I think it's two. I know it's at least one. I think it's more than one. So it would. I guess I'm gonna have to go over because not that I think there is three. I think the answer is two, but I can't say it, so I'm gonna go over.
The answer is one.
Mother of
The answer is very close to being zero. Have you heard of this game, Adam? The one game that beats it so far came out January 31st, 2025. It is called Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector.
wow.
I I played part of the first Citizen Sleeper. It's like a choose your own adventure game. I'm impressed that this got better ratings than Split Fiction, but I'm more impressed, or rather disappointed, that Split Fiction is sitting at number two highest rated game this year so far.
What
It,
did what's the other one? What did it get?
it's also a 91, but like barely above in terms of average.
Oh, maybe we should play that one. I I've never really done adventure like choose your adventure games.
I'd be down to play it. Citizen Sleeper is cheap. You can play it on a Steam Deck. We could do that. I'd be happy to do it. I started it a bit and it was like, this is kind of interesting.
Oh, okay.
Lot of reading, Adam. A lot of reading. I don't know if you know how to read.
Don't they have audiobooks? Do you want to spin or want me to spin for me?
You spin. I don't know where my spinner is.
What? It didn't even freaking spin, dog. Okay.
Don't tell me it's barf.
Yep.
Ooh, ooh,
Yep.
ooh. Just while you do that, I'll read out some of the games that have come out this year that Split Fiction is supposedly
Well,
better
I gotta
than.
eat this, or can I wait?
Yeah, you can wait. Yeah, I'll let you wait. Because we got one more question. Considering how much time we spent playing as and on and around dragons, Adam, I just thought this would be curious for us to figure out. Um, when was the first literary reference ever made to a dragon?
I can't.
And do you want me to?
I mean, it was barely barf. It was bare. Like it was on the line. Bare. Like it was a freaking 2 degrees more in the barf. That is. I would have gotten pomegranate or old bandage. I mean, either one's horrible. Oh, that is sucky. I don't have
Adam, do you?
any water. I have no water. Mother.
Do
Um.
you
Okay.
want me to set the line?
So what are we doing? You setting the line?
This is okay. This is when was the first literary reference made? Because this is somebody who wrote a book about dragons. When was the first literary reference made to a dragon? And I think we're going to go by year, and I'll set the line if you want. I'm going to set the line at when did they even start writing things with dragons? I'm going to say 1500 AD.
Easy money, easy money. I am certain the book of Revelation in the Bible talks about dragons. I know it does.
They
And
talk about
so
dragons?
that is going to be an under. I don't know exactly when Revelation was written, but I certainly know that Paul didn't live to be 1,500 years old. So that will be an under. And the Bible is a book, so it is literary.
No, yeah. I mean, that's not why you win, but I was dumb here.
What?
I was thinking like, when was King Arthur written? The answer I asked
But
the
you
AI.
didn't elaborate. You said
Yeah,
when. Yeah.
I know, I
Was
know.
I was I gonna be right either way?
What do you mean?
Like, let's say we ignore the Bible. Would I have been right if I said under anyhow?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Ancient Mesopotamia. These depictions appear in art descriptions within texts dating back to the late second millennium BC.
I
So
would
like 2000 BC. So
so
like
I would have
3,000 years
lost.
before my line. Yeah, I would have lost. Yeah.
Wait, I would have lost. You're
No,
saying
I would have lost.
2000 AD.
2000 BC. It goes the
Oh,
opposite direction, Adam.
BC.
Yeah, yeah.
What, BC?
Yeah.
Wowzers. Okay, now I
Ancient.
feel less bad because, if you were like Bible's a cop-out answer, I mean, but okay,
No,
I
no.
would have lost either way. Okay.
Ancient Egypt had giant serpentine creatures dating back to the 8th dynasty, so 2181 BC to 2160. Ancient India had dragons in their Sanskrit hymns dating back to 1500 BCE. So I'm way off. I'm 3,000 years off.
Please let this be something freaking. If you get toothpaste, I'm gonna.
And the word dragon entered the English language in the 13th century. So what's that, like 1200? I'm way off, man. Is it
Oh,
barf?
licorice or burnt rubber?
Okay, let me see. Do I have? I have. Okay. Yep.
That's
Yep.
bad. I tried Band-Aid and burnt rubber before we even ever recorded with this new box because I was just curious what it tasted like. That one is bad.
Well, is it as bad as barf? Because down the hatch, baby.
Okay.
Mine's
It's
gonna be licorice. I feel it. Oh, oh, that's burnt rubber. Oh, oh,
it's peach. It's peach.
you son of a
Yes,
bitch. You son of a bitch.
yes.
You son of a. Oh,
Don't cough. Yes,
oh.
that peach is good. Oh my gosh. It's so good. I think I'm having anaphylactic shock. It's so good. Dude, burnt rubber is bad. Like, and it's also like it's not gonna upset your stomach, but that taste isn't going away anytime soon.
Really? Oh man.
You're cooked. I mean, swallow it, dude. They'll chew it. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh my gosh. Good for you. You're being a trooper, but man, and you should not have chugged the rest of your drink. You should have split it in half.
I know. I made a mistake. I'm hoping the gum helps. Oh,
Dude, yeah, burnt rubber is real bad. See,
that's
Carmen
bad news.
Coffee, that's what you're missing. You could be eating burnt rubber barf. Instead, you're having cabbage and uh what's the other thing he ate? Dog food.
Dog food.
Yeah. Okay, that was good though. It bothers me so much. It really does. How it's the same thing with music. Like it makes me mad that everyone is like music. Why? It's not good. Listen to all types of music. Like it's infuriating that I don't understand why people like something. Some stuff I at least understand, right? Like I don't like it, but I can see how you appreciate it. This game, I don't know how someone sits and plays this game and says, that's a 91. That's the best. I mean, I know the year's only 4 months in, 3 months in, right? But I don't see how someone's like, that's a 9.1 out of 10. Or a 10 out of 10? You're telling me there isn't a game. There is no way that this game could be any better. That is a flat out lie.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that someone actually thinks that is true. There's no way.
So
There's
it
no way.
it really just feels to me like the bar for games sometimes is like, did it not break? Were there no glitches? And like that seems to me like this, like it is very much like technically it's inoffensive. Um, Thematically, it's completely inoffensive. Here we go. The game takes zero risks, aside from the fact that you have to play co-op, right? Which is a risky endeavor for a publishing group to come out with, but like they know that this is going to work out because they've done this for two other games previously. Um, but the game takes zero risk in terms of gameplay mechanics for the most part. Story-wise, it's zero risk. I don't know, man. It's like to your point, like I play this game and I'm ready to be done with it. I don't, there's not really much to say about it when it's done. It didn't really push games forward in any way. It didn't do anything, really interesting until the last level. And even that was like, that's an interesting tech demo. There'd probably be a good game based on that. But it's bothersome to me. And that was part of the same issue. If you listen to our Astrobot episode, I think we kind of came up with, it was like, listen, it was like fun and it was fine, but like, has it done anything worth being enshrined in the halls of like games of the year, right? Like it's good.
I feel like a lot of games that happens with though. I feel like almost every Mario game is like that too.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, Astrobot, Mario, they are creative game levels. And there's certainly creativity that goes into it and technicality and all that stuff that they master. But it doesn't do anything that when you leave the game that sticks with you. And I
Yeah.
guess maybe that is my level to where I say a game is great when after I'm done, I'm still thinking about it, or I want to go back and play it, or it challenges me in some even personal level. None of these games, the three we mentioned there, do that. And this one is the worst of the last Mario, of the Breath of the Wild, of the Astrobot. Like it's not anywhere close. Like I haven't thought about the game. You even mentioned, like we took a week break. We don't want to talk about it. There's
Yeah,
nothing to talk about. Like I I don't know.
I mean, my yardstick, my unofficial yardstick for this kind of thing, like especially talking about a game of the year, is like there is nothing in this game that makes me think like 2 years from now, I'm gonna be like, oh man, you remember in Split Fiction when blah happened? And like I have games that I will admit are like a 7 out of 10, where it's like, man, I need to go back and play that again because that was so cool. Like there's an Xbox game called Breakdown that's entirely in first person, and it's like a first person shooter, and it did not do great, but there were parts of that game that were just like, holy crap, that's awesome. Um, Near Automata, there's stuff that like, I want to go through the level with the amusement park again and experience that again. I want to go through the whole game again. There's nothing in Split Fiction that makes me want to go to my wife and say, let's sit down and play Split Fiction together. It's going to be good. Like it's a fun couch co-op game. Maybe we'll enjoy it. Aside from the fact that I might be playing with my wife, and I wonder if that's the whole thing about the game is that because the game requires co-op gameplay, the only reason people are having a good time is because they're playing with a friend, right?
Yeah.
Like
Which I don't know. Should a game be awarded for that? I
I
mean, in a
don't
way,
think so.
it's a choice, right?
Yeah,
Other games don't allow you to do that. So
but
maybe
it's
I think
like
they should get some credit, but not all the credit.
I think it's cool that they designed a game around cooperative play throughout the entire game. However, what you're doing in that gameplay is not super fun for me. Like, at no point was I thinking, I wish Adam would log on so we could play Split Fiction now. Um, and like when you play, you didn't like Helldivers, but we had fun playing it because we were playing a game together. So I feel like it's just really people they don't have a way of separating like, this wouldn't really be fun by myself. This game isn't fun in and of itself. It's fun because I'm playing with a friend, and there's millions of games out there I could be playing with a friend. This one just requires me to do it. So I don't know, man. Is it Game of the Year worthy, Adam? What do you think?
No, game of the year worthy? Absolutely not. Not even anywhere close.
Not worth the $50. I'll say that much. I bought it. I bought it. Damn it. Yeah, it's. I don't
So
know,
you
man.
don't think worth $50, huh?
No, 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 no. It's not worth $50. Not to mention the fact that there's so many games out there now. $50 buys a lot of games these days. But even like new games that have come out, I think Astrobot was 40, and Astrobot is way better than this. So it just maybe $20. I'd be more lenient. $30 sounds like a really good idea for like this is what the game should have launched at. Because there's like meat on the bones. But man, I don't know. It's just I feel like an a-hole. I feel like I'm being like trying to be different for the sake of being different, but I did not.
I mean, the thing
There,
is, you rarely, that's why I feel pretty confident. You normally, I mean, go through all of our episodes, go through even play PSVR, the podcast. You like every freaking game. So when you don't like a game, I know that I'm vindicated in feeling like it sucks because that's very out of character for you. Admittedly, I'm a little more pessimistic. I have higher standards, right? And to me, yeah, this was the things I'm looking for in a game. It's not there. Kingdom Hearts, want to play again. Final Fantasy 16, want to play again. Like there's a bunch of games, but they're like they move me. They create
yeah.
something, and I understand not everyone is looking for that in a game. So I could see this doing okay and people liking it, but to say that it's a 91 and a game of the year candidate, nuts. My question is, I know there's a lot of variables. We don't have all the games pulled up. Do you think by the end of the year it actually will be a candidate? Or do you think it's new? There are really no other games. So people are just like, oh, this is really the best that we have right now, but it's really not going to be the best.
Uh, I think it's going to be a candidate just because, like, the Game Awards people love this developer. I mean, their previous game, It Takes Two, which I haven't played. Maybe I should. I'm worried it's going to be like this, but worse.
I mean,
That
we
one game
played
is,
two of their games, right?
yeah.
We didn't like thoroughly love either one. I would argue A Way Out is better.
I agree. I think A Way Out did things a bit more interesting. At least it took risks with the story, right?
Yeah,
Like the thing at the end, even though it was kind of ham-fisted and it didn't really play right, like where we're fighting each other, really cool, really
yeah.
cool. And I was hoping there'd be something like that here, and there was nothing. Here's the thing: the game is insanely safe. The game is so safe. It takes no risks. It offends nobody. It's just the safest game you can play, and that frustrates the hell out of me when somebody has been given the budget. Here we go. No, I forgot to mention this, Adam. This game is about a publishing company stealing ideas from smaller, independent, unpublished people. And the immense irony of this is the fact that this game is published by EA Games, which is the powerhouse publishing group of video games that
Oh.
does nothing but like step on the smaller developers, steal ideas, do half-baked output ideas, and and so to me, it's like, man, it's kudos to EA for publishing a game about how bad publishers are. But like there's a weird irony both in one that this game is you're basically ripping off ideas from other games for each level, and two, the publisher of this game is a notorious publisher who just kind of like rips off other games that are successful and makes like crappy versions of them or just rehashes Call of Duty over and over again. It's not Call of Duty. Anyways, whatever. It's Medal of Honor. I don't know. But
Yeah.
it's the game feels soulless to me. There's like no soul in the game. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I totally agree. I'm not saying that you need to go out here blasting and you need to take like tons of risks, but this game was meaningless. It made
Yeah.
the character. I don't care about the characters. Don't care about the plot. Gameplay wasn't great. Like, yeah, it just I I struggle to find something to good to say about it, I guess, other than the very last level. Other than
Yeah.
that, like even the boss sucked. It didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense. Yeah.
He got sucked into the virtual world, and
He
then
pulled himself into it. He just opened it up and walked in.
yeah, and then we're attacking him. But when we attacked him and he died in the virtual world, he died in real life.
It knocked him out. He blew up against the machine and broke the machine, and it knocked him out. We didn't even mention this, Adam. There was like seven other people that got in their own bubbles. What a wasted opportunity. I kept saying as we were playing, like, I wish I could
Yeah,
hop into one of those other authors' worlds, right? Like, let's get some feedback in the machine, go see somebody else's world, see what's going on there, try to recruit them to also do. But no, I even thought, like, maybe I missed something here. I rewatched the last cutscene, and it just shows those people, like, in the background. It just shows those people just, like, waking up, like, "Hmm?" And it just,
yeah. So do you think? When you're grading a game, do you punish the view of the game for obvious missed opportunities?
No, I don't think it's fair to punish them for missed opportunities, right? Because like making a game's hard, and there's they can have a
But
great
like
idea, but they
that
can't.
was such a obvious method and gameplay element. They never did. They could have made this game rather than only having a fantasy and cyber world. They could have jumped, and we said this in the first podcast, to all the different authors, right?
Hmm.
They didn't do it once. Like you could have had. They talk about variety. They could have had insane amounts of variety,
Yeah.
and they did none of it. Like
So I don't punish them for not doing the things that I think would be a good idea. I just present the things I think would be an interesting idea because this game is immensely uninteresting to me. Like there's nothing interesting happening in the game. So it's like, here's all the stuff you could have done that I just thought of playing the game. That's like, you probably should have gotten this. I'm sure somebody had this idea. Why didn't you explore this idea? And instead they're like, you know what? After sci-fi, let's jump back into fantasy and kind of just be the same thing.
yeah.
Like, I don't know if Mio's levels were in different universes or different worlds. They all seemed exactly the same to me.
Yep, they sure did. So ultimately, yeah, I think we covered it. You know my thoughts. It's not game of the year worthy. Ultimately, like, are you happy you played it? Did we make a right choice?
I I'm fine that I played it because again, it cost nothing to play it to finish it. I'm a bit disappointed I spent so much time finishing it. I'm mostly disappointed that like we had to do another episode of it, right? Because it just seems like a pretty uninteresting episode because the game's so uninteresting, and it like doesn't ask any big questions. There's nothing to really talk about. It's just you played the first hour. That's kind of the rest of the game for the next 12 hours. It's it's just a bummer. Like it's just kind of it doesn't suck, but it sucks that it doesn't do anything. It's not great. I don't know.
Maybe we saved someone 13 hours, and that is
No, because what's going to happen is
that.
everybody else is going to play it and think we're idiots, and that's fine, whatever. But this game's not that good. This game is not that good. Here's what I'm going to do to save my sanity, Adam. I'm going to find the lowest rating of the game from a critic. Will that make you feel better? I know it'll make me feel better.
I mean, I don't. I don't respect these people. I think they're idiot. Well, I don't think they're idiots. I think they are doing what is best for their business or their website or their platform. And
Digital Trends. Digital Trends says split fiction is hokey, muddled, and needlessly self-defeating. It's also lively, inventive, and so earnest that it's hard to be mad at it for long. These aren't opposing forces that tear Hazelight's latest apart, and the clumsiness is inseparable from the delight. I want to hear more bad stuff. Sometimes it absolutely whiffs, and yeah. Oh, it just got it. Even this review takes itself too seriously. It's ambitious vision of an artist. It's not. It's not. It's B tier writing and very basic gameplay design for the most part. I don't know,
what
man.
did they give it? What score?
A 70, which seems fine to me. Like 70, I wouldn't argue with a 70. Like, but so much of it's just like it's not broken, therefore it must be perfect.
What sucks is that what is a bad game? To me, five should be if the game is average. It's not bad. It's not good. It's average. That's where I would put this game. But I think when these critics, I think like a 70 is what a 50 should be, like in my scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I rarely see them give something a 30, right? I'm sure maybe at some point they do, but the game has to be broken, like you said. But no, you can have a technically good game, but if it sucks, it should be a 30. I think it's just people scales. But either way, we're done talking about a crappy game. Let's talk about a good game. Alex, we're thinking about hopping back into virtual reality for a week or two, eh?
Yeah, a lot has come out in VR, Adam. We got to do a play PSVR episode, and we can maybe mix it in here. I'm thinking Hitman 3 just had a big PSVR 2 update. Have you ever played a Hitman game, Adam?
I haven't, no.
They're so good. Talk about creativity, open-endedness, risks. Those games, they're like I bought Hitman 2 a long time ago. I never made it past the first level. I just replayed the first level over and over again because it was so so much variety, so much opportunity presented, and that's what these games do. So they released it on PSVR 2. It works great, apparently. It looks super fun. You can get it for cheap in physical edition, Adam. I know that's what you're looking for. So I think that's what we're going to do next. But I think we might also. I started playing Arcanade, so we'll do a play PSVR episode, just us talking about VR games we're playing. Also, Underdogs came out. People say that's really good. So
They, again, we're going by the ratings, but they said it's the highest rated PSVR 2 game.
yeah,
That's pretty wild. I don't even know
it's
what
like
it's about.
it's like you're in a robot beating up enemies, and it's a roguelike. Hey, if they pull it off, I'm here for it, man. That sounds really cool. People have tried it, and it's not as that fun. But this has been out on Quest for a bit. Underdogs has, and people like it. So now it's on PSVR 2. I imagine it's a lot better. So I'm interested in it. So I don't know. It's either gonna be Hitman or it's gonna be Underdogs. I don't know. I'm gonna play both of them nonetheless. But
I think probably the next game will be Hitman that we do in Gaming is in Session. But before we have one of that episode, we're probably going to do a play PSVR episode where we'll talk about some underdogs and then Arc and Age and then maybe some other stuff. But
we
yeah, I'm
got some
looking forward
sales,
to
Adam. There's big sales going on. Your
big
favorite segment.
sales. I'm looking forward to getting back into it a little bit. Admittedly, it's been a while since I played VR, so that will be next time.
All right. Well, then that does it for Split Fiction. Thank you for enduring this episode the way we endured Split Fiction for you. If you disagree with us, please let us know. We are contact@playpsvr.com. You can send us an email or grab your auntie's phone. You know she's already going to be on our page. Just find the latest upload at Gaming is in Session and leave us a comment on there. Like and subscribe it. Let us know how wrong we are about Split Fiction and why we're wrong. I want to know. I want to know what I'm missing about this game. But if you do any of that, that's fine. We just want to hear from you. We want to feel from you. We want to touch you. We want to know we've touched you. But really, if you don't like what we said about Split Fiction, you know what you can do. You can
Tell it to the judges.